The market just closed today and bullish IPO is hot in the market. So there's a couple of things I predicted that would happen, a couple of things that were actually pretty unexpected. So one of the things that was looking pretty like my past predictions was how it opened in the morning. So basically in this 1 to 10 minute frame, like I was saying, it basically had a nice little pump here. And then basically once it hit a little bit of weaker resistance is basically what my plan was to sell. So I actually abandoned my original limit order plan. Unfortunately, very unfortunate due to a couple of reasons. So people got filled in a lot. So I was using this Discord server. People got filled a lot of shares. There's another question that I asked, but people got filled up to 30 to 50% of their shares. That's a lot of shares. And if you didn't know, if for Figma, most people got one share. So if they were up $30 off their one share, okay, they probably wouldn't sell it open to risk restriction. But if they got 10 times the amount of shares and they're up $300 or $3,000. Some people had 300 shares of this from pre-IPO, which is insane on multiple accounts. Then they would likely be selling open because they're up so much money. Pre-IPO is especially free money, and I was shocked at how many shares there were. The reasons of this, I think, wasn't as hyped as I originally anticipated. Number one, it wasn't as quality as Figma or CRCL, and number two, they actually think they might have issued 10 million extra shares and raised the IPO price, which might have pushed it. That was the day before it was going IPO. So 2 days before, so maybe not enough institutional investors were able to. There wasn't any other institutional investors like BlackRock or ARK Invest that were willing to jump on this train, which allowed us to get more shares, which is good for us, but bad for my limit order plan. So what was using this? So I did a little bit of a poll reel here. Who are you selling at 100 open? If we get filled, I predicted a 90 to 100 open, which is pretty much what happened. It opened basically at 100 like I thought it was. So that's what I asked before open here. So a lot of people said yes. So you might think, Josh, this isn't representative of everybody. Well, of course, it's not. This is representative of the people who are staying up and watching this, the people that are on the Discord servers waiting for this to open. So plus there's also a little bit of response bias here with the 25% not selling might just be saying that, of course, because eventually they're going to sell. We know that. So. And 65%, of course, this is just a little grouping. This is a group, which we can use this to predict the representative of almost everybody here, which is why I like this, to use this example right here. So what would happen here? So here's my concern here. Bullish. And some people had shares. If we were seeing weakness right at open here, people were gonna dump the shares. Boom. What ended up happening, which was basically people had their limits in, which is basically push the price up. And people who had their IPO, who got tons of shares, they were waiting for weakness, so that they got their 15% off. And then once they're showing a little weakness here, everybody started dumping. Boom, they dumped here. And then everybody else saw, oh, it's gonna tank. Everybody else dumped. So pre-IPO took their 180% gain. 140% gains, and then increased that to 160% gains, and then dumped out because people didn't sell it right away because they're a little bit greedy there. What we can do is, what this proves is that there hasn't been a hyped IPO recently that hasn't gone above its open price. There hasn't. CRCL absolutely blew past it. Figma blew past it. Even Firefly, the worst possible hyped IPO that was out, tipped at the beginning, but then also in the next 10 minutes went above its open price once before, and so did bullish. Bullish opened directly above its price, and if I would have continued my limit order strategy for my $10,000, then I would have been up about 15% and would have sold out this first available weakness right here. Unfortunately, with the amount of shares passed along, that's not something I was willing to take the risk on, especially because this is such a large amount of money I was doing. But I do note next time that the amount of money here isn't as big of a deal as I really thought it was to push it down. The only thing that would probably hinder my plan if it did open in the red, which has really been pretty bad for us, pretty bad for limit order sellers. But it did end up working on this side. And in the future, wasn't all for nothing. I was allocated 2/3 of my shares, just like everybody else. I was allocated a good amount of shares, and I ended up making a few $100s off of this, which was nice. So, and of course, we did collect more data. I collected more data. I was there open at the Figma. I was open for Firefly. I was watching the open of bullish. I've collected nice data. Not a lot of people are able to sit here and watch these in the morning, wake up at 6:30, wait for it to open, and track the prices before. I'm able to do that, which is why I'm so confident in my plans and why I actually didn't decide to do this. Well, of course, we will get more opportunities in the future, but there is a going on trend here. Let's see this. This is not. This is one of the factors that was holding this on. People were saying, oh, should I hold? Should I hold? I thought this was a common knowledge. No, you do hold these IPOs. Like what I said in my previous long form video is people are going to compare this to Circle, CRCL, where it was up for the whole week before it started to take a little bit of dip. This isn't CRCL. People are learning to sell sooner to take profits because, like I said, in the stock market, the way we make money, like the S&P 500, How we make money is people create these companies invent things. We started from the wheel and the fire in caveman area. Now we have ChatGPT and Duolingo and stuff like that, and Robinhood. So while creating things online, we create actual value, and that value can push up the market cap, so everybody makes money long term. A company can't create this type of value in one day, which means this is more like a meme coin, which there's buyers push up the price and sellers push down the price. So there's winners and losers in this. Not everybody can make money off this. So, what does this mean? Well, of course, there's winners and there's losers. Well, this is not like a meme coin. We know exactly when the pump is, and the people who make it, i.e., the bullish people, the BlackRock investors, and the ARK investors, they have a lockdown period, and they can't essentially what we call a dump in the meme coin world. They can't dump it off, which is why we know exactly when the pump is happening at the beginning, when the limit orders go up, and we know, and the owners can't dump it. The whole this little spike here, the reason it doesn't entirely crash, it only goes down this amount, is because it's only the retail investors that are selling. Everybody else can't sell. So that's the way we need to know when people are selling, which is why I originally banded my own plan, which is fine. We got data for this. And of course, we are going to get future IPOs. I think the closest one to IPO that file is BitGo. It's just like Bullish. It's another crypto company. Unfortunately, I think the market cap is 2 times or 3 times smaller than Bullish, unfortunately, because the larger the company is and the more hype it is and how high quality is determines how it opens up, because there's been a ton of IPOs. There's IPOs all the time, but just not these mediocre or high quality companies or very hype companies. All these small companies that no one's ever heard of and no hype behind it. And the reason fundamentally why these IPOs can do so well and still open up green is the hype behind it, which is why I like to take advantage in the 1 to 10 minutes. So I was still getting questions on TikTok. Do I hold? No, you don't hold these. The strategy I've actually seen is basically you on the pre-IPO shares. If you get filled pre-IPO, you sell all but one, and that helps you on your restriction. With that, so that's what I figured out from that. I actually did sell all my shares, which probably wasn't the brightest idea. But I don't think anything will come out in the next 30 days. I'll be looking to get into it. Of course, if something does IPO does come out that looks promising, your For You page or your YouTube video, your algorithm will push it towards you. You'll see it. Cars and Investing will post about it. I'll post about it. Other people post about it. And again, this is a short-term opportunity, of course. My fundamentally base is a long-term strategy. So any money I make from this will then be allocated towards my long-term portfolio, which is the only really way to make money long-term in the stock market world. Like I said, people create things over time, and eventually that leads to profits for everybody. For everybody to have profits. This doesn't have everybody have profits. And eventually, like I said, people will learn to sell earlier and earlier and earlier over time, which will lead this opportunity to dwindle until only the IPOs that will only be feasible are really quality, high quality, and hype IPOs. Like when Stripe comes out, or Afterpay, or Discord goes IPO, then those would be ones we can just make a quick buck. When I mean a quick buck, 100% is nothing to scoff at, but a quick buck on the upside for limit orders like 10-15% here, where we could possibly make thousands if you do it right. So stay safe, have a nice day, guys. If you're interested in more IPOs and you want to learn how to long-term invest, go ahead and give me a follow. This is never financial advice. This is just my own opinion. Like I said, I stayed up and I watched these. I watched the charts. I don't have the same. This honestly, IPO game isn't for a financial analyst. This is where they valued it out. This is different with hype and trends. They don't deal with that stuff. This is why I think I have a decent understanding of it. And if you have any questions, go ahead, type it in the comments, and I'll be making future videos on risk to reward opportunities and long-term investing in the future. Have a nice day, guys, and glad most of us made profits on this.